Moving outside the confines of their various communities is a luxury too much to afford for most of these teenagers living in rural communities and farm settlements, thus limiting their exposure to global trends and issues. The sucker, despite being in this disadvantaged position, is their access to education, one that is also confronted with several challenges alongside the existing situation of limited or lack of access to basic amenities of life. But deep down inside, there is that potential in them to better their communities, beginning from among their peers and rising to prominent leadership positions.
Africa is a wonderful continent, a continent that is supposed to be, the resource base of the global community. Africa is living below, its true value resource base, and of course our leaders do not see this.
On a mission to drive change and empower young Africans to embrace the task of positive leadership, a non-governmental organization, Next Leaders Initiative for Sustainability, commenced the 1 Million Leaders Africa project. As one of the African continent's uniqueness is in its young population, with 70% of sub-Saharan Africa under the age of 30. Entrenching the values of leadership in young Africans further spurred the start of the OML Bootcamp for secondary school students in rural communities in Africa.
1 Million Leaders Project is a flagship project of Nelly's, and the mission or vision for 1 Million Leaders Project is to raise 1 million leaders by 2030, and these leaders will be equipped with skills, leadership, sustainability, social entrepreneurship, and the social development project that would help reposition the African continent on a more sustainable path. But when we look at the trends happening in some major continents around the world today, we will see that majority of the things happening out there is as a result of our choices in leadership, the leadership we bring into power to govern us. And we see that if this should continue over time, this would definitely affect the future generations. It will undermine or destroy their privilege of providing solutions to their own rising challenges as well. So that's why we felt, okay, we need to start raising a new generation of leaders, future generation leaders that will be sustainability minded, that will be futuristic, leaders that would have empathy, leaders with integrity, leaders with humility, leaders that carries the DNA kind of Nelson Mandela. Those are the leaders that we aim to raise by 2030.
The maiden edition held in Ondo State, southwest Nigeria, and a serene location in Imafon, an agrarian community, playing host to selected 150 students, both male and female, from 17 secondary schools from different rural settlements. Arriving at this point of opening the bootcamp to participants was not a walk in the park.
The journey towards achieving this bootcamp has been so interesting, fantastic, and at the same time stressful, because it requires a lot of time planning, brainstorming, going to the schools, submit consent form, a lot of things to make it a success.
Some of the challenges, sometimes weather is a major constraint to us, because sometimes it is rainy and we have our letters with us. We must get to that school. It's a mission that we must, achieve per day. So we don't have an excuse just to get the job done. And that's how it has been for all the schools. And also getting to their traditional rulers, we got to Allah Palace. And we spoke well with the Oba, and also we went to Dada to speak to their traditional rulers, to seek their consent, to know that this opportunity is coming to their own vicinity, and I think that's the best for we to, execute this program, we need to seek others' consent, and fortunately, God grants us that.
I hope you're understanding. Good. So what is the purpose of photography? Let me hear us out. Okay? What's your name?
My name is Jim. The purpose of photography is to remember the past events that has happened.
The questions we ask them, who is a leader, what is leadership, to select the best one, they even find it, most of them found it difficult to answer, especially those from the rural communities, because they are not used to this. So it was more of mixed feelings. Going to school in urban, these people understand, they can relate well. And moving to rural areas, they do not even understand what you are doing. You have to start explaining to them from beginning. Even what do you do from when you wake up to when you sleep at night? They find it difficult to express. What do you want to become? Which university do you want to attend? It was so hard for them.
That school is not very good, because even the school I come from, the provider is not very good. Let me make example like this Bootcamp. He does not even show any concern about it. Like, we asked him that where is the venue of the place, or how are we going to get there? He said he does not know that even though they share money to us, is he going to partake out of it? So, and he's just a selfish person who does not train students well, and he did not have good economic skills, and he did not teach students well.
News photographers capture images for the purpose of providing detailed accounts of actual events.
During the process of our online interview, we got to know that some of these students, they don't have the passion. They just go to school to just do the cramming. They go to school to just, do abracadabra, like 1 + 1 has always been 2, 3 + 3 has always, algebra has always been algebra. But what do you want to become in future? We realize that due to how the society is, we can see the rate of unemployment. We can see bright ones doing menial jobs. So they felt like, oh, that's what they could achieve too, like doing some other menial jobs. Doing some even said, oh, they would rather prefer selling biscuits. They would do that. They don't know they can become more. They don't know that, oh, their environment should not limit them. So those are the things I got to notice from the students.
5 men, 4 men, 3 men, 2 men, 1 man, and his dog went to Mohammed. Let's go. 10 men went to Mohammed. 10 men, 9 men, 8 men, 7 men, 6 men, 5 men, 4 men, 3 men, 2 men, 1 man, and his dog went to Mohammed.
Usually, for many of these teenagers aged between 13 and 18 years, the holiday period away from school has always been a time to join their parents on farms, with almost nothing new stimulating them and positioning their minds for exploits.
My experience in OML Bootcamp has been very, very amazing and inspiring. I've got to learn a lot of things I don't know before. In light of career, my future ambition is to be a lawyer. Due to the career opportunity lecture that has been given to us, I now know that being a lawyer is not restricted to court. There are so many opportunities that are in law. You can be a legal practitioner, you can be an entertainment lawyer, you can be a tech lawyer, and so on.
Thank you, OML Bootcamp, of choosing me to be the one of the participants of this program, because I learned a lot, especially in areas of sustainability. It teaches me how to use our resources wisely so that it can be useful for us in the future.
It makes us to know that if we want to be a leader, we start from now, not when we are aged that we can become a leader, that we can become a leader from childhood now.
The week-long intense bootcamp was structured to unlock the potential of each participant while expanding their horizon on salient issues affecting them, their immediate environment, and the world. Let's take a look at what a typical day in camp is like.
Wake up, it is time for prayer, morning devotion. No time to check time.
A typical day in the boot camp involves blasting the whistle early before daybreak, organizing prayers, and keeping the body in shape with exercises.
1, 2, go. Come on. Continue. You can do better. Be fast, yeah? Increase the volume. Come on. Hey, see this old man.
Attending to basic chores of getting their environment clean and upholding self-hygiene is next. This woman leads the kitchen volunteers who ensure that those in camp feed adequately through the day. As Malcolm Forbes says, food may be essential as fuel for the body, but good food is fuel for the soul.
Since I've been here, I've been looking forward to eat jollof rice and chicken, and they have been giving me.
Recharge for each day's task. The participants, who are divided into various groups, undergo insightful lectures around the camp's curriculum on climate change, entrepreneurship and leadership, career orientation and development, and technological skills, which involves sharing insights on digital marketing and graphics designing, community service, and volunteerism. On climate change, an expert-led discussion exposed the participants to activities affecting the planet and required actions to make a change, as well as the importance of trees to environment.
I have been going to the farm when I was 9 years old, so I have experienced many things in the farm. The thing that I learned newly by planting here is that to separate the soil. Because before, when I plant the tree, I just put the soil anyhow. I don't use to separate it. Tree is important in our area in order to absorb carbon dioxide that affects climate change. Any pollution or any other affecting carbon dioxide that's going to the climate, the tree will absorb it for its use.
Entrepreneurship, leadership, and career orientation inculcated into the participants through motivational videos of young change agents across Africa were also replicated with group-based tasks to stimulate their thinking. Though teenagers in rural communities, an understanding that they can compete with their peers by acquiring technological skills was also at center stage, with exposure on exploring online medium for growth. Training sessions on photography and its importance, with some of the participants handling a camera for the first time in the process. The participants were also exposed to making eco-friendly jewelries and accessories from bamboo. The attendant outcome was mind-blowing for the crafters, who hitherto had no idea that such could be achieved.
Okay, I made this through bamboo trees, and I was the one that designed this star because it was my favorite to design it. And the reason why I designed it is because I love star, and anything about me is star. And I do things that make people call me star too. So that is why I made a star.
Before now, a lot of our students didn't know that other things can come out of bamboo. So, they just see it as something, okay, for staking and maybe for building. But yes, as you can see at the background, they're all happy, doing their best, trying to work with implement the tools that we have come with. Incidentally, today we didn't come with the real tools because we needed the students to improvise, do something out of nothing. And quite frankly, they're all ecstatic about it. Some of them have not even handled tools before, saws and all that, but they're doing very well. They're doing very well.
Another group of participants were also taken on the nitty-gritty surrounding making of confectionaries, while lessons learned were put into practice. Away from the camp venue, the students, armed with their OML customized writing pads, alongside their handlers, embarked on the field trip to Springboard Food Production Hub. Cocoa Farm and Nursery was the first port of call for the participants. Thereafter, a visit to Tiwa Chocolate Factory, where cocoa beans are processed to chocolate bars, as the factory workers taught the processes involved in the production.
Every 5 minutes, you add a spoonful of cocoa nibs into the machine. You allow it to grind, Then another 5 minutes, you add another spoonful of cocoa nibs in the machine.
The cricket-formulated bread factory was also visited, with the bakery managers conducting the participants through the several stages to arrive at a freshly baked bread. The participants share their experiences.
Come out yes. We decided on our own. This timing is not general. So people just, okay, I want to put it in 20 minutes. I want to bake it for 20 minutes. Just press this place. So we use 25 minutes for baking.
My own experience, I learned about how chocolate is made, how cocoa is being transformed, manufactured into chocolate. We get there this morning, the staff explained to us that we start the process from sorting of cocoa, that is taking the dirt from the cocoa, then after that we roast it in the oven.
At the end of the visit, the return journey back to camp was an endurance trek for the teenagers whose strength and agility were tested. In high spirits, the participants sang songs of different kinds to boost their morale.
This is the way I wanted to be. This is the way I wanted to be. Abiru, remove your cap.
I want to be a leader. I want to be a leader.
I want to be a leader. This is the way I wanted to be.
I gain a lot. Actually, I boarding here for OML. We do early in the morning, we do jogging, running, do some exercise. But the running aspect from the fit sheet, I learned many things from it.
The trek was also an avenue to create awareness about the bootcamp and its aims and objectives.
An environment like this, the children need something that will elaborate them, that share make them their brains open, because something like this has never happened in this area before. So this one is one of the great things that everybody, as the way you even move down to the town now, you see people looking at you, see what are they doing. So maybe I think by next year, if this thing can continue like this, you see other students, other people, they would like to join you.
Ginger! Swagger! Are you motivated? Motivated, sir!
Occasional stops were made at strategic locations in the community, like the palace of the traditional ruler, Olumafon, who was delighted to welcome the young leaders.
I feel very, very, very happy for seeing these children for the first time in my community. So the program is very good. I wish they should continue every year. So I really appreciate the effort and the sponsors. So I really appreciate that.
Back on camp, games and sports are common activities undertaken most evenings. For the first time, some of the participants tested their knowledge for word formation through the Scrabble game.
I haven't played Scrabble before, but coming to this camp, I learned how to play it and I really enjoyed it.
I learned how to construct word and make it a meaningful.
The week-long boot camp climaxed with a special ceremony where all the lessons learned were showcased to their parents and guardians, as well as other members of the community who registered their presence.
Everyone can see that the waist is turning, so it's to turn its direction also. Can turn in a 360 degree and so on.
Participants were also given a certificate of participation and a tree seedling each to plant in their various communities upon their return, with a target to give more opportunities to young Africans while empowering them with critical leadership skills and consciousness. These 150 beneficiaries are now change agents to start influencing their communities. Taking it a step further, the change agents now also have a task to lead in their various schools and cascade the lessons through the 1 Million Leaders Schools Club.
I thank God for the life of those people that they organize this program. the Lord Almighty will bless them. As I was here, I saw wonders here, and I saw that some children, some little children, you see, they think that they are local champions in their area. When they came to this program, they now see that they are nowhere to be found. I thank God for that, and I so much appreciate those the organizers of this program, because I saw that they spend a lot of money and their time, because in Nigeria of nowadays, I saw that many things happen. There is scarcity of money. Out of what they have, they contributed it to the life. They sold it to the life of these pupils.
This Dada community has been there for a long period of time immemorial. They're suffering from a lot of rural problems, such as bad roads, such as lights, such as even markets. We don't have it. Then in these axes from Imafon here down to Ala, it has been a big problem. And then sometimes we do to think as if we are being cut short, because sometimes there is no even light in all this area. Then apart from that one, when I heard about the boot camp, we were doubting. Probably even some of my friends, they told me that this one 419 everywhere, 419 everywhere. But when they told me about that the date for the boot camp should be 6th to 12th, I came here, I brought the children down here. On that day, on reaching here, I met an officer, a police officer that I know very well. So immediately I saw him, my mind was at rest that this place should be a safer side. I came over here to check, and then I discovered that there had been a good atmosphere for the children to learn. So when I called my son, which is Obanyo Angela, I called him, the phone switched off. I began to panic. So when I asked, he said that they collected the phone from them on a safer side, that they did not allow them to use phone so that they would not be communicating unnecessarily. I said for security reasons, that one should be okay. Now as a parent, myself, I welcome this development. At least if we can be having this on a regular basis, it will make the children to learn more and to know that apart from their parents, they could learn much and more from outside.
Their mindset compared to what they had in mind before coming here has really changed. There has been interchange of encouragement amongst them. You know, they are children from different schools, both urban and rural. So we can see them encouraging each other, supporting each other, discussing, and I see that their discussions has changed compared to the time they came here. So they have really learned a lot. Tree planting, deforestation, afforestation, and so many other vocabularies they've not heard even before coming. So it has been value, they have really gotten value. So OML has really inculcated so much into these children.
I'm taking my journey in photography beyond here and to great places in the world. My message to Nelly's, OML, the sponsors and the team is that I'm grateful. I thank them for this opportunity and God bless them.
We are glad, we are happy seeing this happening, and I say may the Lord keep helping OML, to achieve this and to do greater and greater things more than this in Jesus' name.
Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has.